Hi, my name is Rachel and today you're going to watch me catfish dudes on Tinder using verbatim Rhysand quotes. So if you don't know who Rhysand is, I don't know why you're watching this video because I don't think you'll find it funny. Most of you probably know who Rhysand is. Picture. Rhysand is the main love interest from the Avatar trilogy by Sarah J. Maas. So you probably saw a similar video that Cindy from Read with Cindy recently did where she pretended to be the Darkling and texted dudes on Tinder. And I decided I wanted to use that same template to prove that dudes are just as thirsty for romance as women are. Or maybe not romance, but whatever Rhys is. I will link Cindy's video down below. It's hilarious and it's probably like 10 times better than this is going to be. I did ask Cindy if I could use her template to do this because obviously that's her intellectual property and I didn't want to like take her idea without at least asking her first. But also, for all I knew, she was planning on doing a similar video to this, and I didn't want to, like, take the idea and do it without making sure that she had no plans to do it. So I didn't want to, like, take anything away from her, because this is her idea, and she's way more creative than I am. So Rhysand from Avatar is a book character that makes women super thirsty, which is fine. This is sort of in defense of romance kind of thing. Now, Avatar is not a romance book, it's like romance fantasy, so it has, you know, magic and fae. Rhysand is a character who's half fae, half Illyrian. He's the High Lord of the Night Court in a land called Prythian. He's like super powerful and has like darkness magic, and he has these huge black wings that are like huge bat wings that have like claws on the end of them. And him and his Illyrian bros tend to make women super thirsty. Sarah J. Maas knew what she was doing when she wrote them into existence. She created super tall, dark, handsome, muscular, tatted up dudes, and I mean women are into that, and that's fine. Like it's fine to be a lover of romance in books. It's fine to be a romance book reader. The thing about romance books is that there is such a stigma against it, and it is belittled overall as a genre, and so are its readers. And women don't need another thing to be belittled over. It is perfectly fine to be super thirsty over Rhysand and Cassian and Azriel. Personally, I'm more of a Cassian fan than a Rhysand fan because Cassian's like this big lovable oaf. The thirst is so strong that a year ago, you can look this up on Twitter under the hashtag DickSoapGate, somebody created an Illyrian boyfriend box. I don't remember what it was called, and I don't remember the company who did it. Cindy did a video about this as well, and I will link that down below. So they did this box where there was dick soap, yikes, personalized smut letters from Illyrian boyfriends, and then on top of that, unfortunately, they committed copyright infringement by taking Sarah J. Maas's characters and creating fan fiction and then selling that. So that was not okay. It's fine to be thirsty. It's not cool to commit copyright infringement. Yeah, the Illyrian warrior men make women super thirsty. It's a thing. It's fine. There's a really good video called In Defense of Romance by Leanna from Leanna's Library. She, like me, is not a romance reader, but she defends romance as a genre and its readers. It's an excellent video. I'll link that down below. You should go watch it. So I wanted to do a video proving that dudes would be just as thirsty for Rhysand if given Rhysand, but in a different context. So I decided to use Cindy's template and use Tinder. Now, I had never been on Tinder before. I've been with my husband for 11 years, so dating apps is not something I've ever had to use. And obviously nothing against people who do use them. I have a lot of friends who've met their significant others on Tinder. I think it's great. What I don't think is great is the majorly douchey, straight, typically white guys who are on there. Yikes. But of course I swiped right on a bunch of them because content. So here's how I did this. I went and asked women for a bunch of their, well, I didn't specifically ask women. I asked in a group, and that group includes men, but nobody who was a man answered the question. It was all women. I asked for their favorite Rhysand quotes, and they all kind of gave me the same ones, and I needed more of a variety, so I did get what they gave me, and then I also, on top of that, flipped through the books and got a whole bunch of quotes, Most of them are things that Rhysand says to Farrah, but a couple of them are not things he says to Farrah, and a couple of them are just like really random, but I wanted to kind of get like a large variety and see what I could accomplish in these conversations. So I decided to use quotes that had 4 words or more, because using small quotes that are like, hey, how are you, and okay, cool, and little sentences and stuff like that, that would be way too easy, and I didn't want to make it super easy on myself. So the end goal that I decided on was to see just how thirsty these dudes were after giving them 10 quotes from Rhysand or less, and all of these quotes were verbatim, so a couple of like the words would sound super weird in the context of the conversation that I was having with them, and most of them glossed over it, which was hilarious. The thing that makes this funny is that I'm using verbatim quotes, and yet dudes are still eating it up like, yeah, I'm into that, cool, we should hang out sometime. Like, are you not seeing that what I'm saying is super weird and like out of context? But only a couple of them felt that way. So to gauge their thirstiness, I created what I call the Farrah scale of thirst. Now Farrah went through this entire journey with Rhysand, where at first she was like super like intrigued but also disgusted by him because he was the bad guy in the first book, and then she eventually grows to like be super in love with him and mega thirsty. And I just want to clarify that I'm using the term thirsty in not a negative way at all. Like, it is okay to be thirsty. I'm just like, that's fine. Do you. Like, we're all thirsty for something. So I created the Farrah scale of thirst, and it all has to do with things throughout their relationship between Farrah and Rhysand. So level 10, which is like the maximum amount of thirst, is the A Court of Frost and Starlight level thirst, which if you have read the novella, it's real bad. It's like, it's just smut and it's horrible. It's so cringy, but I mean, it works for level 10. Level 9 is hard enough to make the pictures fall off. And if you read the series, you know what I'm talking about. Level 8 is chapter 55. Again, if you haven't read the series, then you're not going to get any of this. Number 7 is Farrah and Rhys on the Court of Nightmares throne, which is just like, I have no words. Level 6 is I want a distraction, I want fun, which is something she says to Rhys when she's like super into him but doesn't want to say it and they're like about to hook up. Level 5 is Starfall, when they finally realize that they obviously have feelings for each other but they're like kind of hesitant to like jump in. Level 4 is You're a Shameless Flirt, which is where she's like, you're kind of annoying, I'm also kind of into you and I like flirting with you, but I'm gonna call you out for being a shameless flirt. Level 3, So I'm your huntress and your thief, which is something she says to him and he's like, you're my salvation, Farrah, which is actually a quote that I decided to try to use in the conversations, and it turned out pretty funny. Levels 2 and 1 are like the lowest on the scale, where she kind of hated him, but there was always kind of an attraction between her and Rhys. Still like a little thirsty, but not like mega thirsty, and still kind of despising each other. Level 2 is who would want to bother with that sort of mess, which is something that she said to Rhys, and it was like super rude. They were in a fight. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about, but she meant it more about herself than about him, yada yada. And number 1 on the Farrah scale of thirst is throwing a shoe at Rhysand's head. So that is the Farrah scale of thirst, and that's what I'm going to use to gauge just how thirsty these dudes are for Rhysand quotes after I send them 10 or less in some cases, but mostly 10. Before I start, I just want to like read a couple of profile things from Tinder, and if you are a straight male watching this, please don't write these things on Tinder. Don't do this. I feel like really bad for all of you women who are attracted to men who write these things. No, who are attracted to men, comma, and men write these things. Yeah, just, you get it. This is Tim, and he says, I recently broke up with my girlfriend because she didn't know how I like my coffee. I like my coffee like I like my women, without other people's dicks in it. This is Vaughn, and he just says, I'm 5'11" without shoes. This is my least favorite. It says, you catch more flies with honey, but you catch more honeys being fly. If you're wanting a serious relationship and can cook, swipe right. Yeah, and can cook. The caveat's important. If you can't cook, swipe left. Not looking for any dependents right now. I love my dogs more than most humans. I've never loved a cat and probably never will. Just a fair warning. My cat says fuck you. This dude, I didn't catch his name. It says swipe right if you use logic over emotion, correct spelling mistakes, love dogs, enjoy sports and amusement parks like physical activity, have a dark sense of humor, enjoy 50 Shades. Swipe left if you have or had a penis. Smoke cigs. Cigs? I thought spelling was important to you. Are an extreme feminist. I think you mean somebody who agrees with misandry, you douchebag. Think socialism makes sense. Call yourself queen. Are majority plastic. Like a Barbie doll? But there is hope because I did find Jonathan who said, got a new Costco card, so I'm ready to splurge and take you out for some great food samples. Oh my god, romance is dead. First up is a dude named Charlie. Now I decided to start the conversation with Charlie and I said, and remember these are all verbatim Rhys quotes. What is it you want, Charlie? Friends with benefits, ideally. I have no intention of doing it all in one night. I don't either, lol. Friends before benefits. Is that a challenge, Charlie? LOL, I won't stop you, but I find myself unable to resist the temptation. You can have your way with me. Sorry. Such a dirty, wicked mouth. What's your Instagram snap/number? So many questions tonight. Not really, just trying to communicate better without this shitty app. Now, I just want to point out real quick that this app is the same as texting, so I don't really understand, whatever. It serves various purposes of mine, of course. Okay, Snapchat sounds better, add me. I'm gonna block out his snap, sorry. I'm in no mood to bargain, though I could make it work to my advantage, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm pretty easygoing. You can use me, but don't abuse me. There are a great many things I wish to do, but don't get to. So, snap me and let's have some fun. Also, I do not have any plans this weekend. And then he sent a frowny face. Because I didn't answer fast enough, I guess. And if I get you all to myself for the rest of eternity, then I won't mind that at all. When do you have time to hang out? So on the Ferris scale of thirst, I'm gonna put him between a 4 and a 5, which is between You're a Shameless Flirt and Starfall. He wants to hang out, he's kinda hesitant, but he's not like questioning why I'm saying weird shit. So I'm gonna label him a between 4 and 5 on the Ferris scale of thirst. Next up we have Travis. Hello, Travis, darling. Now this is hilarious because that's like what Rhysand says when he goes in and like ruins Farrah's wedding. Except he says Farrah, darling, obviously, not Travis. Hello, hello, lovely. How are you today? So many questions tonight. How so, love? What is it you want, Travis? In regards to? And same question to you. I have no intention of doing it all in one night. Well, of course, that wouldn't be any fun. Is that a challenge, Travis? It could be, who knows? You cruel, wicked thing. And how's that now, love? There are a great many things I wish to do and don't get to. Ah, I see. And what are some examples? Now, the next quote is not overtly sexual. It kind of is. See, I didn't want to send like straight up the most sexual comments that Rhys makes because honestly I did not want unsolicited dick pics. But I couldn't like not put the like most Rhysand quotes that are like clear thirst traps out there, so here it goes. Try not to moan too loudly when you dream of me. I need my beauty rest. I don't think you need too much beauty rest, to be fair. That is very sensitive. Would you say you're a sensitive person? It serves various purposes of mine, of course. I think that is my favorite quote because it's so versatile. Well, of course, it's a good thing to be. Have you already gone to bed then? See? And I couldn't answer anymore because I had already reached 10 quotes. So on the Ferris scale of thirst, I'm going to put him at a between 3 and 4, which is so I'm your huntress and your thief, and you're a shameless flirt. Kind of flirty, pretty hesitant, not overly thirsty, but definitely not like what the fuck is going on. I mean, really everybody starts out between a 1 and a 2 because they're thirsty enough to be talking to me. By the way, I used pictures of a friend of mine with her permission, and I made my name Rhysand, and I said in my bio, the first thing that Rhys ever says to Farrah, which is, "There you are. I've been looking for you." So a lot of these dudes messaged me saying, "Here I am," or "Heard you were looking for me," or "You found me," which is just like objectively hilarious. That like already put them on like a level 4 of the fair scale of thirst. I didn't answer everybody that messaged me. I just kind of like got a feel for who would create the best conversations based on like their pictures and their profile. And then a couple of them I just like picked at random. So between a 3 and a 4 for Travis on the level of thirst. In my profile I said my name was Rhysand, as in Rhysand without the ND, without the D. Next up we have Christian. Christian says, "Hey, I'm Mr. Right. Someone said you were looking for me? You cruel wicked thing. How so? You're my salvation, Christian." And he immediately eats that shit up. "Come over so I can protect you and keep you warm." Kiss face emoji. Oof. "Do you have a Snapchat?" What's funny is I don't have a Snapchat, so it's not like I made a fake Snapchat to talk to these dudes. I didn't go that far. I couldn't have even if I wanted to because I don't know how to use Snapchat. "I'm in no mood to bargain, though I could make it work to my advantage, I'm sure." "Let me get your Snapchat?" Calm down, Christian. "What are you thinking you could bargain for, LOL? What are you up to?" Oh, I didn't answer him fast enough. "How many other minds have you accidentally slipped into?" Now this is a really out of context quote. I wanted to use like ones that would make them in a normal person conversation be like, "What the fuck?" But this is something that Rhysand says to Farrah when he figures out that she got a bunch of different Fae powers when she became Fae, and she's able to like do like mind powers. So it does not have any sexual undertones at all, and yet, I couldn't tell you, but are you tired? You've been running through my mind all day. Stop. I promise I won't drop you. Can I get your number? So many questions tonight. You're confusing the shit out of me. Now, see, here we dropped seemingly to like the bottom of the fair scale of thirst. And yet, Rhysand brings it back with, "I've had lovers, but I never felt tempted to invite one to share a life with me. When can I? I'd love to take you to dinner and grab some drinks." And with that, I'm thinking that since he completely ignored the weird shit I said and ate up the other Rhys quotes, we have a level 8. I'm labeling Christian a level 8, chapter 55 level on the fair scale of thirst. Next we have Jerry. Jerry says, "Hey, hello Jerry darling. I want to guess you live in Tampa? Welcome to the night court." Now, this is another random one. Obviously it's like, how am I supposed to answer like where I live? Rhysand lives in the night court, right? So I wanted to try another random one and see how it panned out. Night court. So many questions tonight. LOL. Are you real or a bot? Now, I don't know much about Tinder. Are Tinder bots a real thing? Is that a challenge, Jerry? Def a bot. So I answered with, "Don't you ever think that. Not for one damn minute." And he answered with a crying emoji. So I'm thinking we have a level 1. So we're gonna label Jerry a level 1, throwing a shoe at Rhysand's head on the fair scale of thirst. Next up we have Chris. "My lord, you are beautiful. Am I supposed to deny that I find you attractive?" Not necessarily, but that one did make me think of it, LOL. "I've had lovers, but I never felt tempted to ask one to share a life with me." "Darlin, a life with you would be priceless." Ew, I don't like darlin. I don't like that. That is very sensitive. "Regardless, I'd like to get to know you a little better." What is it you want, Chris? "Someone I can trust. I promise not to drop you." Now, that sentence does not make any sense in context. Rhysand in the books, he has wings, so he literally like flies Farrah somewhere and she's like, "Do not drop me." And he's like, "I promise not to drop you." So I decided to use that as one of like the random ones to gauge like if they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And yet, that's a big promise to make. It serves various purposes of mine, of course. How so? "I might be a shameless flirt, but at least I don't have a terrible temper." Well, that's not a bad thing. "What do you do for work?" "You know everything I do is a statement." "I don't understand, LOL." "Show me something impressive and I'll tell you." "Impressive like how? Like owning my own business with 3 trucks, 3 tractors, and a dump truck and still maintaining a side job impressive? And a pretty successful business, I might add. Or, like me being in the process of building my own home at 23 impressive, if I get you to myself for the rest of eternity, then I won't mind that at all. Keep talking that way and you won't have a problem with that at all. Are you impressed enough to tell me what you do for a living? LOL. And with that, I hit 10 quotes, which is the maximum. So for Chris, I'm going to label him between a 5 and a 6. 5 being Starfall, and 6 being I want a distraction, I want fun. He's like mid-range, like pretty flirty, but not like questioning the weird shit I'm saying, and just like eating that Rhysand shit up. Next up we have Zack. You're a cutie. Spelling is a thing, Zack. Am I supposed to deny that I find you attractive? Ha ha ha, aw. What brings you to Tinder? It serves various purposes of mine, of course. Hookups or relationships? What is it you want, Zack? I like to make friends and get to know people and go do things. I'm moving to blank in 2 months, so I'm not looking for anything serious unless they want long distance and down for sex too. I have no intention of doing it all in one night. What do you mean? Lest you forget where this is going to end. So you have no interest in me. Don't you ever think that. Not for one damn minute. So what would you like then? I'm in no mood to bargain, though I could work it to my advantage, I'm sure. So you don't want sex, but I find myself unable to resist the temptation. Don't resist what you want. I can't breathe when I look at you. Oh, it pains me to read the next sentence. If you can't breathe while looking at me, what happens if we have sex? Try not to let it go to your head. I think you're so beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and label Zack a 7, which is Farrah and Rhys on the Court of Nightmares throne. Yeah, level 7 of thirst for sure. Next up we have Chesley. I heard you were looking for me. Here I am. Try not to let it go to your head. Well, it did, so I'm sorry. Call me Big Head if you want. I might be a shameless flirt, but at least I don't have a horrible temper. I get mad sometimes, but I wouldn't call it a horrible temper. What is it you want, Chesley? Chicken nuggets. It's an important moment when a female offers her mate food. Now, that's obviously like chapter 54, which is like the chapter where Rhys explains like, oh, I've known that you're my soulmate this whole time, and they call it like mates, which is a word used constantly throughout the series to the point where it's like gag worthy. So I wanted to try at least using one sentence from Rhys that includes it on at least one dude, and I used it here. His response, feed me. Then he said, when you're trying to snuggle a little, it's getting cold, which this dude is a liar because this is Florida. It doesn't get cold, it just gets less humid. And at that point, I felt like I had sufficiently understood his level of thirst. So I rated Chesley between a 6 and a 7 on the Farrah scale of thirst, which number 6 again is I want a distraction, I want fun. And 7 is Farrah and Rhys on the Court of Nightmares throne. He was thirsty enough that I didn't need to use 10 messages. I mean, when I say it's an important moment when a female offers her mate food and his response is feed me, like, I think we get that he's thirsty. Next up, we have Juan. Juan opened with, nice pics, you're very pretty. Am I supposed to deny that I find you attractive? Please don't, LOL. Can't deny that I love your name. Yeah, Rhysand is not like a common name. I don't think I've ever met a Rhysand. So a couple of them messaged and was like, hey, cool name. And yeah, I didn't know what to say to a bunch of them. 35 Rhysand quotes, and I was like, okay, what do I say when they say I like my name? So he said, can't deny that I love your name. And I said, and what about my eyes? Now, I don't know what context Rhys said this in, but he said it. And it's more than 4 words, and it's a question, and it fit perfectly here. So I was like, oh, nailed it. I tried to use all of these quotes at least one, but some of them I just couldn't fit them in. And he said, wish I could dive right into them eyes and go swimming, LOL. And I said, how many other minds have you slipped into? So that's like the second time I think that I've used that, and yeah, it went real well. Today? LOL, if that's really you in the pics, I can tell you you're the last mind I'll slip into, I promise. What is it you want, Juan? I've been blessed with all I want. I'm just missing my lady. I want it all, LOL. True love and everything that comes with it. And if I get you to myself for the rest of eternity, then I won't mind that at all. You promise? I promise I won't drop you. I'm a one-woman type of guy. Now, here I wanted to, again, use a quote that I hadn't used before. And again, didn't want to like slip into the range of like unsolicited dick pic possibility territory. If you want, I'd be more than happy to prove you wrong. We should just get married now. LOL. Now, we should just get married now was its own sentence. You can see it here. And then LOL was followed up with, and I like to think that he was like super serious and then was like, oh, I probably just scared the shit out of her. LOL. Try not to let it go to your head. I'm just saying, I like your outlook on proving me wrong. What's your city? It's an important moment when a female offers her mate food. Once again, I use this and thinking, all right, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be where this thirst trap fails. And yet, it's the beginning of the cycle of life. What is it you want, Rhysand? There are a great many things I wish to do and don't get to. And that was 10 quotes, so I couldn't message anymore. He followed up with, how about if you have someone to do all those things with? With that last message, but also with the answer of marriage, I'm gonna rate him a between 9 and 10, which 9 is hard enough to make the pictures fall off, and 10 is Aquafast level. So yeah, he's between a 9 and 10 on the Ferris scale of thirst. Okay, so last but definitely not least, we have Conor. And he started up with, Rhysand, what is it you want, Conor? And this dude answers with 24-inch biceps and a blowjob? Bold move, Conor. I'm in no mood to bargain, though I could work it to my advantage, I'm sure. And this dude sends me a gif of Robert Downey Jr. tucking a napkin into his shirt. I laughed so hard, I think I cried. At this point, I'm real lucky that I did not get an unsolicited dick pic. Like, truly, it is a miracle that this guy did not send one. What's the proposition? Am I supposed to deny I find you attractive? Yes, if not, you're just taking all my work away from me, and I do like to eat. At this point, I thought about not messaging because honestly, I was like, this guy does not give a fuck what I say at this point. Like, he's already level 10, Aquafast level, but I still wanted to try to get to 10 quotes just to see if I could like throw him off and like knock him down a few levels on the scale. So I kept responding, you cruel, wicked thing. If you only knew the half of it. With the little smiling devil emoji. Ugh. There are a great many things I wish to do and don't get to. Oh no, I wrote Toto, not to do. Like? So many questions tonight. So little answers. I have no intention of doing it all in one night. So what's the first thing you really want to do? Ugh, gross. I'd like to start with everywhere, but I can choose if necessary. So that doesn't exactly make sense. So I'm thinking, is he gonna call me out for like that sentence not making sense? No. Sounds good. And the when and where? It's a 10. He's a 10 on the scale of thirst. He's an Aquafast level, 100%. He's a 10, period. So what did we learn here? We learned that no matter who you are, you can be mega thirsty for Rhysand. He just has that effect on people no matter who you are. I think I've sufficiently proven that. Like I said, Sarah J. Maas knew what she was doing when she created this character. And his level of charisma doesn't just work on women. If a woman were to say these things to a man, I've just proven straight dudes will eat that shit up. And like I said, it is okay to be thirsty. Claim that. Own your thirst. But remember, you can be thirsty, just don't try to sell Illyrian warrior smut. That's crossing a line. Stay thirsty, but like, keep your fanfiction on the internet where it belongs. So no matter who you are or what your sexual orientation is, if you love Rhysand as much as these dudes did, leave your comments down below. Thanks again to Cindy from Read with Cindy. Again, I'll link 2 of her videos down below that were relevant to this video. Go watch them. She's amazing. Thank you so much, Cindy, for allowing me to use this template. I think I have sufficiently proven that dudes are thirsty as fuck for half Fae, half Illyrian, High Lord of the Night Court charisma. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe if you want to subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!